The Silent Conquest. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of Diplomatic Station Alpha 7, watching the massive ships of the Zorn Empire's delegation dock with practiced precision. Her weathered face betrayed no emotion, but her mind raced with calculations. 20 years of careful planning had led to this moment. They still think we're desperate for this trade agreement, her aide, Marcus Wong, whispered from behind her. Analysis suggests they'll demand access to our quantum computing research in exchange for basic medical supplies. Sarah allowed herself a slight smile. The Zorn, like most of the Galactic Council races, still believe humanity was struggling with quantum mechanics. They had no idea that deep beneath Europa's ice, vast quantum arrays had been running complex simulations of their civilizations for the past decade. The station's eye whispered in her neural implant. Final confirmations received from all sleeper cells. Ambassador, Operation Shadow Web is fully operational across all 17 major alien civilizations. Sarah acknowledged with a subtle eye movement, the kind of gesture that alien surveillance systems categorized as random human behavior. The Zorn delegation would arrive in precisely 6 minutes. Their blue-scaled bodies and imposing height had intimidated humanity during first contact 15 years ago. Now, Sarah found them almost quaint. Their civilization, like most in the Council, had stagnated, too reliant on their technological superiority over lesser races. Humanity had played its part perfectly. They'd stumbled through first contact protocols, made deliberate mistakes in diplomatic exchanges, and presented themselves as an eager but technologically inferior species. Their ships were intentionally designed to look crude, their weapons purposefully inefficient, and their AI capabilities carefully hidden behind layers of apparent technical limitations. Ambassador, Marcus continued, the Zorn High Commander's biological readings indicate high confidence. They believe today's negotiations will finally give them access to Earth's biosphere for colonization. Sarah nodded. The Zorn, like others before them, had fallen for humanity's greatest deception, the belief that Earth was humanity's only viable colony. In reality, automated construction ships had been building underground cities across thousands of worlds for the past decade, hidden from standard detection methods by technology reverse-engineered from 5 different alien civilizations. The station's subtle vibrations indicated the Zorn ship had completed docking procedures. Sarah straightened her deliberately outdated diplomatic uniform, a costume designed by anthropological eye to appeal to alien perceptions of human hierarchy. Signal the Europan command, she subvocalized. Begin final verification of Protocol Omega. All cells stand ready. Across the galaxy, thousands of seemingly simple human traders, diplomats, and cultural exchanges officers received the same message through quantum-entangled nodes embedded in their neural systems. Each one was a carefully placed piece in humanity's vast intelligence network, gathering data, analyzing weaknesses, and preparing for the moment when humanity would need to defend itself. The Zorn delegation entered with their characteristic pomp, 8-foot-tall warriors in ceremonial armor that concealed enough weapons to destroy the station. What they didn't know was that every atom of their armor had been mapped, every weapon system analyzed, and countermeasures developed. High Commander Vexthor, Sarah bowed slightly, exactly 3.5 degrees, the carefully calculated angle that most species interpreted as respectful but not submissive. Welcome to Alpha 7. We are honored by your presence. The High Commander's translator conveyed his rumbling response. Ambassador Chen. Let us hope today's negotiations prove more productive than our last 17 attempts. Sarah noticed the subtle threat in his tone, exactly as their behavioral models had predicted. The Zorn, frustrated by humanity's apparent incompetence in reaching an agreement, were preparing to shift from diplomatic pressure to military threats. Perfect. As she led the delegation toward the conference room, Sarah received another update. Deep beneath the surfaces of 1,000 worlds, automated factories were completing their final production cycles. Quantum computers were running their last simulations, and in hidden orbits around countless stars, human ships waited in configurations that no alien race had ever encountered. The galaxy thought humanity was struggling to join their civilization. They didn't realize that humanity had already silently conquered them all, not through violence or overwhelming force, but through patience, intelligence, and careful planning. Today's meeting would proceed exactly as the Zorn expected, another frustrating attempt to negotiate with an inferior species. But in laboratories and hidden bases across the galaxy, humanity was preparing for the moment when someone would finally mistake their patience for weakness. Sarah smiled genuinely this time. That moment was coming sooner than anyone suspected. Breaking point. The attack on Hope Colony came without warning. The Zorn warships emerged from hyperspace directly above humanity's medical research outpost on Kepler 186f, their weapons already charging. High Commander Vexthor had finally lost patience with human diplomatic incompetence. In the command center beneath Europa's ice, Admiral James Rodriguez watched the attack unfold through quantum-entangled sensors. His weathered face remained impassive as the first Zorn bombardment struck Hope Colony's seemingly primitive shields. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "Hope Colony's surface facilities are taking damage exactly as projected. The Zorn are following attack pattern Sigma 7, just as our simulations predicted." Rodriguez nodded. The surface damage was regrettable but necessary. Below ground, 30,000 colonists rested safely in stasis, evacuated months ago, when predictive AI calculated a 97.3% probability of this exact scenario. "What about the research?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. "All critical data was transferred last week, Admiral. The facility contains only our prepared discoveries, exactly the level of medical technology the Zorn expected us to have." The Admiral allowed himself a grim smile. The Zorn thought they were destroying humanity's premier medical research facility. They had no idea that the real breakthroughs, including the cure for their species' genetic degradation, were safely stored in quantum databases across human space. A new alert flashed across his neural interface. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving the signal from Ambassador Chen. The Zorn delegation just presented their ultimatum to the Council." "Right on schedule," Rodriguez murmured. "Begin Protocol Omega. Authorization code. Remember Earth." Across human space, hidden systems hummed to life. In the Europan Command Center, massive holographic displays activated, showing thousands of green dots representing human assets across the galaxy. Each one pulsed with readiness, waiting for the signal that would end humanity's long masquerade. The Zorn continued their bombardment of Hope Colony, their sensors detecting exactly what humanity wanted them to detect: desperate evacuations, failing systems, and the apparent destruction of years of medical research. High Commander Vexthor would be pleased with his victory, unaware that he was playing his part in humanity's carefully orchestrated revelation. "Admiral," his strategic officer interrupted, "the Galactic Council is convening an emergency session. The Zorn are presenting evidence that the attack was justified due to human biological weapons research." Rodriguez's expression didn't change. The Council's reaction had been predicted years ago by their behavioral analysis systems. The older races would accept any excuse to put humanity in its place, while the younger ones would abstain, fearful of drawing attention to themselves. "How long until the quantum field generators are ready?" he asked. "All systems are synchronized, sir. We can activate the network at your command." The Admiral stood, his uniform shifting to accommodate his movement, smart fabrics adjusting to optimal thermal efficiency. Around him, the command center hummed with controlled activity as humanity's real military infrastructure prepared to reveal itself. "Send the coded signal to Ambassador Chen," he ordered. "It's time to show the galaxy why patience shouldn't be mistaken for weakness." In orbit around Hope Colony, the Zorn fleet continued their bombardment, their sensors focused on the destruction below. They never noticed the quantum field slowly encompassing their ships, analyzing and mapping every system, every weapon, every defense. "Sir," his tactical officer reported with careful precision, The Zorn have destroyed 87% of Hope Colony's surface structures. Their fleet is maintaining position exactly where we need them. Rodriguez nodded. Activate the quantum field network. Begin Protocol Omega Phase 2. Across the galaxy, in countless systems, quantum fields synchronized in a vast web of energy and information. The network humanity had spent decades building in secret was about to change everything. Send the message to all human assets, Rodriguez commanded. The time for hiding is over. In the Galactic Council chambers, as the Zorn delegation finished presenting their case against humanity, Ambassador Chen's neural implant received the coded signal. She stood, her movement interrupting the High Commander's speech. The human has not been recognized, the council leader began, but Chen's voice cut through the chamber with unexpected authority. I speak not for a single colony, she declared, her words transmitted simultaneously across every communication channel in known space. I speak for humanity unleashed. In that moment, as quantum fields shifted across the galaxy, as hidden fleets emerged from dimensional spaces the aliens had never discovered, as humanity's true technological capabilities revealed themselves, the galaxy learned an eternal truth. Sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one that taught itself to hide in plain sight. The breaking point had arrived, and humanity was ready. The unveiling. In the seconds following Ambassador Chen's declaration, the galaxy witnessed what centuries of human patience and planning truly meant. The quantum fields surrounding the Zorn fleet at Hope Colony activated, and in an instant, their mighty warships hung frozen in space, caught in a technology that defied their understanding. From the Europan Command Center, Admiral Rodriguez watched as the first phase of humanity's revelation unfolded. Status report on the quantum containment field, he ordered, his voice calm despite the historic moment. Field stability at 100%, sir, his chief scientist reported. The Zorn fleet is completely immobilized. Their weapons, shields, and propulsion systems are all locked in a temporal stasis field. They're perfectly preserved, like insects in amber. Across the galaxy, hidden human installations emerged from dimensional pockets that alien sensors had never detected. Massive structures, some larger than small moons, phased into normal space. Each one represented a different aspect of humanity's true technological achievement: shipyards, research stations, and defensive platforms that had been operating in secret for decades. In the Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Chen stood unwavering as chaos erupted around her. Various alien representatives were receiving reports from their home systems, each message more alarming than the last. The human trading post in the Rigel system, a Meridian delegate shouted, their crystalline form vibrating with distress. It's gone. In its place stands a fortress the size of a small moon. Our long-range sensors are detecting massive energy signatures, another representative added, their tentacles writhing in agitation. They're appearing everywhere, in every sector where humans had a presence. Chen's voice cut through the pandemonium. For centuries, you viewed our trading posts as simple outposts, our research stations as primitive attempts to catch up to your civilization. The truth is, each one was a cornerstone of our defense network, hiding in plain sight. On her neural command, holographic displays materialized throughout the chamber, showing the true extent of human preparation. Each seemingly humble human facility across alien space had been a carefully placed piece in an enormous strategic puzzle. The quantum technology you thought we couldn't master. She gestured to the frozen Zorn fleet displayed above. We surpassed your understanding of it decades ago. Those simple medical research stations, each one mapped your species down to the quantum level, developing defenses against every weapon in your arsenals. In deep space, vast fleets of human ships emerged from their dimensional harbors. Unlike the intentionally primitive vessels the galaxy was familiar with, these ships displayed the true extent of human engineering. Their hulls rippled with energy fields that bent light itself, their weapon systems so advanced they seemed to defy physical laws. Admiral Rodriguez received confirmation after confirmation as humanity's hidden strength revealed itself. All military assets are in position, his tactical officer reported. The quantum defense grid is fully operational across all sectors. We have achieved total strategic supremacy. The Admiral nodded, remembering the centuries of careful planning that had led to this moment. Begin broadcasting on all frequencies, he ordered. It's time for the galaxy to understand exactly what humanity has become. In the council chamber, Chen activated the final phase of the revelation. The air itself seemed to shimmer as quantum-scale processors, hidden in every human diplomatic mission, created a vast holographic display of human space, but not the limited sphere of influence the galaxy thought they knew. Instead, it showed the true extent of human civilization. Thousands of worlds, hidden in dimensional pockets, populated by trillions. While you thought we were struggling to maintain a few dozen colonies, Chen explained to the stunned council, we were building a civilization that existed alongside yours, invisible but ever-present. Every limitation you thought we had was carefully crafted. Every weakness you perceived was deliberately designed. The display shifted, showing the true nature of human technological achievement. Dyson swarms around distant stars, powered by physics the aliens had never imagined. World ships that could traverse galaxies. Medical technology that had long since conquered death itself. We didn't hide our strength because we were afraid. Chen continued, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of human preparation. We hid it because we wanted to understand, to learn, to ensure that when we finally revealed ourselves, we would do so not as conquerors, but as guardians. In that moment, as the galaxy's power structures reeled from the revelation, humanity's true message became clear. They had not built this hidden empire for conquest or revenge. They had built it to protect, not just themselves, but any species that faced extinction or oppression. The unveiling was complete, and in its wake, the galaxy would never be the same. Tables turned. The Galactic Council chamber had fallen into an uneasy silence, where once the Zorn, Meridians, and other dominant species had sat with casual arrogance. Now they watched with barely concealed fear as human quantum processors reconstructed the chamber around them. The primitive meeting room transformed into a vast amphitheater of impossible technologies, its walls flowing with streams of data and energy that defied conventional physics. Admiral Rodriguez's hologram materialized beside Ambassador Chen, his presence a reminder of humanity's newly revealed military might. The Zorn fleet at Hope Colony remains in stasis, he announced, his voice carrying an authority that none dared question. Their fate now rests with this council's next decisions. The Meridian Prime Speaker, their crystalline form dulled with stress, was the first to find their voice. You were watching us. All this time, studying our weaknesses, our technologies. No, Chen interrupted, her tone gentle but firm. We were learning about you. Your cultures, your hopes, your fears. We needed to understand who you truly were before we could reveal ourselves fully. In orbit around key worlds across the galaxy, human ships maintained their positions, not as aggressive occupiers, but as silent guardians. The quantum defense grid, now visible to alien sensors, showed its true purpose, not a weapon of conquest, but a shield large enough to protect entire civilizations. Our sensors are detecting human quantum signatures throughout our historical archives, a Veldran archaeologist announced, their multiple eyes wide with revelation. They've been preserving our cultural heritage, protecting it from degradation at a quantum level. Chen nodded. Every library, every museum, every historical site where we maintained a simple cultural exchange program, we were ensuring your histories would never be lost, that your achievements would be preserved for eternity. The Council's strategic displays, now enhanced by human quantum technology, showed the true scope of humanity's shadow empire. But it wasn't an empire built on conquest. Instead, it revealed a vast network of protective installations, medical facilities, and cultural preservation centers, all hidden behind veils of quantum manipulation. In the Carina sector, a junior aide whispered to their superior, the humans didn't just build hidden fortresses. They'd been quietly neutralizing asteroid threats, stabilizing unstable stars, preserving endangered biospheres. Admiral Rodriguez stepped forward, his hologram perfectly rendered down to the smallest detail. For centuries, you believed you were containing us, limiting our growth, protecting the galaxy from our potential threat. In reality, we were building a foundation for something far more important than mere military dominance. The quantum field surrounding the chamber shifted, revealing data streams that showed the true state of the galaxy. Dying stars that human technology had secretly stabilized. Plague-ridden worlds where human medical science had anonymously provided cures. Species on the brink of extinction, saved by invisible human intervention. The Zorn attack on Hope Colony, Chen continued, was not just an assault on humanity. It was a symptom of a greater problem. The belief that power gives one species the right to determine the fate of others. The Zorn High Commander, watching from his frozen flagship, finally understood the true meaning of fear. His mighty fleet, once the terror of multiple sectors, hung helpless in space. But instead of destruction, they faced something far more profound. The realization that their perceived dominance had always been an illusion. "We offer you a choice," Rodriguez announced, his words echoing across every communication channel in known space. "Continue down the path of dominance and conflict, and we will be forced to maintain this revelation of strength, or join us in building something greater, a galaxy where technology serves all species, where power comes with responsibility, and where no civilization needs to hide its true nature out of fear." The quantum displays shifted again, showing glimpses of human worlds hidden in dimensional pockets, paradises of art, science, and cultural achievement. They revealed the true nature of humanity's advancement, not an arsenal of weapons, but a symphony of creation and preservation. "You feared what humanity might become," Chen addressed the council, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of preparation. "Now see what we actually are. Not conquerors, not victims, but guardians. We hid our strength not out of weakness, but because true power lies in knowing when not to use it." Across the galaxy, alien civilizations watched and waited. The power dynamics of countless centuries had been upended not by force or conquest, but by patience, understanding, and careful preparation. The tables hadn't just turned, they had been transformed into something entirely new. And in that transformation lay the promise of a future none had dared imagine. A galaxy where strength served wisdom, and where humanity's great deception gave way to an even greater truth. New Dawn. 3 standard months after humanity's revelation, the galaxy had transformed in ways none could have predicted. The Zorn fleet, released from its quantum stasis, now orbited Earth itself, not as conquerors, but as students. Their mighty warships, once symbols of dominance, were being retrofitted with human technology freely shared, transformed into vessels of exploration and discovery. Ambassador Chen stood in the newly constructed Galactic Unity Center, a massive structure that existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions, allowing representatives from every species to meet in their native environments while still sharing the same space. The quantum architecture that had once hidden humanity's true nature now served to bring civilizations together in ways previously unimaginable. The medical data is confirmed. Marcus Wong, no longer just an aide, but now the head of interspecies medical cooperation, reported. The genetic degradation in the Zorn population has been completely reversed. The treatments are being distributed to all their colonies. Chen nodded, watching as representatives from dozens of species moved through the Unity Center's impossible spaces. And the other projects? Proceeding ahead of schedule, Marcus replied, his neural interface streaming data directly from thousands of joint human-alien initiatives. The Meridian crystal worlds are stabilizing under the quantum preservation fields. The Veldran evolutionary crisis has been averted. Even the Drachnid hive minds are beginning to understand the concept of individual consciousness. In Earth orbit, Admiral Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of humanity's new flagship, the Hope Ascendant. Unlike the hidden vessels of before, this ship displayed humanity's achievements proudly. A city-sized vessel that served as both a symbol of power and a beacon of cooperation. Final reports from the Galactic survey are in, sir, his executive officer announced. The quantum defense grid now protects 94% of all inhabited systems. The remaining sectors will be covered within the month. Rodriguez watched as ships from dozens of species maneuvered around Earth's orbital spaces, their crews learning to use technologies that weeks ago they hadn't known existed. And the knowledge transfer programs. Proceeding methodically, as planned. We're releasing technological innovations at a pace each species can safely integrate. The emphasis remains on defensive and humanitarian applications first. In the depths of space, where the borders of known space met the eternal darkness between galaxies, human exploration ships dropped their dimensional veils for the first time. These vessels, some the size of small moons, had been secretly mapping and studying the universe for centuries. Now they openly invited other species to join them in pushing the boundaries of known space. Back in the Unity Center, Shen addressed a gathering of representatives from every known spacefaring race. The chamber adjusted itself continuously, ensuring each species experienced the meeting in their most comfortable environment. 3 months ago, she began, her words translated perfectly across hundreds of languages and mental communication styles. We revealed a truth that shook the foundations of this galaxy. Today, we reveal an even greater truth, the purpose behind our centuries of preparation. The quantum field surrounding the chamber shifted, displaying images from across known space and beyond. They showed vast construction projects underway. Dyson swarms being built around dying stars, world ships preparing for intergalactic exploration, and massive quantum computers dedicated to solving the fundamental mysteries of existence. We hid our true nature not to deceive, but to prepare. Not just humanity, but all of us for what lies ahead. The challenges we will face as we step into the deeper universe are far greater than any single species could overcome alone. In orbital shipyards across human space, vessels of hybrid design were taking shape. The product of human quantum science combined with the unique insights of a dozen alien civilizations. Each ship represented not just a technological achievement, but a symbol of what cooperation could achieve. The age of separation is over, Chen continued, her voice carrying the weight of possibility rather than authority. We offer not just our technology, but our understanding. Not just our protection, but our partnership. The galaxy stands at the threshold of something greater than any one civilization could achieve alone. High Commander Vexthor, now serving as the Zorn's ambassador for peace, rose to speak. His once proud warrior race had found something more precious than conquest. Purpose. We fear humanity's potential for destruction, he admitted, his translator perfectly conveying the emotion in his voice. Instead, they showed us our potential for creation. Across the galaxy, the quantum defense grid pulsed with energy, not as a weapon or a wall, but as a network connecting civilizations. The same technology that had hidden humanity's true nature now served to unite species that had once been divided by fear and suspicion. In the artificial quantum spaces where human consciousness had learned to exist centuries ago, minds from countless species now met and mingled, sharing thoughts and experiences across the boundaries of biology and physics. The barriers between civilizations were falling, replaced by bridges of understanding and cooperation. This is not the end of our journey, Chen concluded, her words echoing across the stars. It is merely the dawn of our true beginning. Together, we will explore not just the physical universe, but the very boundaries of what is possible when we unite in common purpose. As she spoke, the first joint human-alien expedition prepared to depart for the Andromeda Galaxy. Their ship, powered by technologies no single species could have developed alone, represented everything humanity had worked toward. Not dominance, not superiority, but the ultimate triumph of unity over division. The new dawn had arrived, and in its light, The galaxy saw not the shadow of humanity's deception, but the brilliance of a future where no species needed to hide its light from another.